Hello and welcome back to my channel. Please excuse my fringe. It's getting a little bit too long to be a front fringe, but a little bit too short to be a side fringe, so it's just sort of there. Anyway, it is that time of year again where I go over the goals that I had last year, how well I did with them, and what my goals for this year are. For those of you who don't know, I don't do New Year's resolutions, I just do goals because I feel that's more me. They tend to be tangible goals, so it would be like a certain number of something, and they're never something like do something this many times a week, because if I miss a week, then that's just it, that's done, and I don't work like that, basically. I have had a little look already at how I did with my goals. I mean, I look every quarter, and I look whenever I add something to it, obviously, but I've done a little bit of a breakdown of things, and I think I've done quite well with most of them. I'm going to start off with my first one, which is 12 new bought games. I write down games even if I didn't buy them on this, and it's designed in the way that it's so I use more of my games that I bought in bundles and on Humble Choice and things like that. So I've done the statistics of which qualify for those different things. I played 13 new games this year, so I've reached the 12, but 2 of them were free, so that puts me back down to 11 if we're going by the proper strict rules of it. But one of those was free because it was an alpha, and then I bought the game, or had it bought for me, I think it was a birthday present, after it came out, so that goes back up to 12. So I'm reasonably happy with that. Those games were the Jagex Alpha, which came out as RuneScape Dragon Wilds, and Topsoil, a garden puzzle adventure, whatever it's called, which is just a Prime Luna game, which, because the fact that it's not, I don't think it's free, I think you might have to have Prime for it, so that would go under the whole subscriptions thing, maybe? I might just be grabbing at straws, or whatever that phrase is. Then 3 of them were games bought for my Switch 2, which came out this year, so I think that is more than fair. If you buy a new console, you should play new games on it. And 1 came from Kickstarter, which Kickstarter games is one of those things that I back and then I forget to play the game a lot of the time. So I've done pretty well with that one. And 1 was a gift, so, you know, gotta play it. And 4 were from Humble Choice. 2 that were Steam purchases were Bread and Fred, which I played with my friend Mass, and Lost But Found. I can't remember why I bought that one, but it was fun. It was fun. The 3 for the Switch 2 were Mario Kart World, Quelle Surprise, no? Hyrule Warriors, and Is This Seat Taken? Is This Seat Taken technically is available on all platforms, whereas the other 2 are exclusives, but I chose to get it on my Switch. The Kickstarter game was Dragon's Brew, which was a lot of fun, and I think it's now available in beta, so I'm allowed to actually stream it and do videos on it, so I might do that at some point. My 1 gift was Spiritfarer Farewell Edition, and the 4 Humble Choice games were We Were Here Together, which again I played with Mass, King of the Castle, 2 Point Hospital, and Wingspan. Wingspan I'm having a lot of fun with, to be honest. I only started playing it actually because I played the board game, the actual game, at a friend's, and it was really good. And I was like, wait a minute, this is the game that I got in Humble Choice in 2021. So yeah, I played it. Another 2 of those games I got in 2020, and then King of the Castle was 2024, so that wasn't so bad. It hasn't been so long since I got it and haven't played it. My next goal is finish 12 comic books, which is designed because I have Marvel Unlimited, and I actually haven't read any more since last quarter. I did an update video last quarter, so I won't go into too much detail, but the ones I've read are Marvel Meow and Pete's Dog Infinity, The Mighty Thor, and Ms. Marvel, but different Ms. Marvels, which together I read 28 issues. So I never really know what I mean by 12 comic books. I know I put that in there as a number of comic books, but I'm like, do I count it as different comic books? Because, like, if I bought a volume, because I wouldn't buy individual issues of comic books that came out in 2014, like Ms. Marvel, but I would buy a volume of them. So I'd be able to be talking about 12 volumes of comic books, but I don't even know how many are in a volume necessarily without looking it up, so I don't know. I have the tangible goal, and I don't know how to actually succeed at it. I just do my best, I guess. Then I have the goal to upload 12 videos, and I did 25, which is pretty good. I did 10 of those this quarter, well, this quarter just gone, and yeah, I am pretty happy with that. They were mostly about books, but there are also the goal updates every quarter and a few other ones like that, which I'm pretty happy with that as a whole. I did have a few videos that I recorded but didn't upload in the end. There's one that I fully edited and then I watched it through and I just scrapped the entire thing. There's another one that I was meant to upload on the 28th, but I had to do some prep for other things before and I ran out of time with Christmas and everything. I just ran out of time. So I will probably have to re-record that, but that will come out at some point, sort of. Then we have stream 52 times. QR code here to go to my Twitch stream if you want to follow me there. And I have managed to do 43. The last time I streamed was the 4th of December, and I worked out that I could just about manage to get up to the 52 streams, but it would take a lot. I would have to do it every single day. I was mildly free, and then I wasn't feeling very well and getting stressed about sorting things out for Christmas and stuff, and someone pointed out to me that if I don't reach 52 streams, then it's just something to improve upon for next year. And I was sort of yeah, okay. I mean, 14 of those streams were this quarter. I didn't stream that much at the beginning of last year. And I played 12 different games as a little extra factoid there, which is quite interesting to me, but maybe not to anyone else. Okay, so this is the kind of embarrassing one. I'm a writer, and I have done NaNoWriMo quite a few times, which is write 50,000 words in 1 month, specifically November. And I thought 50,000 words over the entire year, that is 100% doable. I can't see myself not managing to do that. And every quarter when I did an update video, I was like, I'm not near my goal, but I'm not worried about it at all. I reached 30,756 words written, which, to be honest, is still pretty good, but it's the fact that every quarter I'm like, I'm not worried about that, I'm not worried about that, I'm not worried about that, and then I didn't reach it, I'm like, bit weird. This last quarter I only wrote 84 words, but hey, whatever. This next one is actually something that I don't put a tangible amount on. It's mostly just a little list of things that I've done that is just sort of good, and that is sewing projects finished. I don't like to put a number on that because there's just so many factors that go into it. It's unrealistic to put a number on it. I could do specific goals of I want to create this top, but I did do that at one point and it took me years to do it anyway because different projects came into play before that. And if I do, say, complete 10 projects and then I start and do a quilt, which takes a lot more time than doing, say, a bowl cozy, it doesn't work out in the same sort of way as all the rest of them do. But I had a little slow sewing year this year. I only sewed 16 different things, which sounds like a fair amount, but when some of them take an hour or less, it's sort of different when you look at it that way. But 6 of the items were wearables, so I've got t-shirts, some skirts, and some hats, basically. And then 6 of them were gifts for other people, which basically makes them book cozies or bowl cozies. And then I had 4 other ones, including winter bunting, that I am sad because it looks really good on my wall. It's the right length of my wall, but you can only see these 3 tips of it, whereas my other seasonal bunting you can see a lot more. But hey, maybe next winter I'll move it down somehow. And finally, I have saved the best till last. This is the one that I've been so happy about every single quarter when I've talked about it. And let's just start from the beginning. I was a reader. Growing up, I devoured books to the extent that in primary school we had a reading diary, and they said that I could stop doing it because I filled out 2 books before most people had filled out 1, and they couldn't just keep giving me books to fill out because I was reading 3 or 4 books a week sort of thing. But I did that typical thing that a lot of readers have done, and I just fell out of it, basically. So I've been past few years having small goals of finishing books, and last year my goal was 4 books and I only read 3. So, well, not last year, the year before. So at the start of last year, I was like, I will have finished 3 books, and then that is just to stay on par. And then if I only get to 3, then it's not too bad. It's still the same as last year, and I have completed a goal. So my first quarter, I changed that goal to 5 because I had read 2 and almost finished the 3rd one. And then the following quarter, I changed it to 13 because I had read 10 at that point, and I was partway through 1, and I thought 3 in 6 months, that'll be doable. The next quarter, I had read 30, so I changed the goal to 40. Then I read 9 books in October, and then 9 in November, and then 5 in December, because as previously mentioned, lots of stuff happens in December, basically, which brings my total to 52 books, which I am pretty darn happy with, especially since there were so few in the beginning and it's just suddenly wolfed through. So in the first half of the year, I read 9 books, which means in the second half of the year, I read 43 books. So yes, I am very happy with how that's turned out. And actually, finally, what are my goals for this year? I'm going to keep my 12 new board games as 12 new board games. I've kept it as that every year since I started doing this, and I've just about got it every year. So I don't want to increase it too much, and I definitely don't want to decrease it. So I'm happy keeping it as 12. The comic books, once again, I'm keeping it as 12. I've said before, I don't even fully know what that means. I think that's fair enough, keeping it as 12 comic books. You know, it's all good. Videos, however, I've been doing a lot more videos in like the second half of last year, and I've got a lot of plans for videos. So I am going to change that to 24 videos, which is doubling the amount that was in my goal. And was it on par for how many I did it? And I made 25 videos last year, so 24 videos should be doable without being too stressful, hopefully. 52 streams, what I like about it is the fact that it averages out to once a week. When I do stream, I tend to stream 2 or 3 times a week, but then there can be gaps when I can't stream for whatever reason, like I'm unwell, obviously, or it's too hot. So I think an average of once a week works quite well. Again, every quarter I revisit these goals, so I could increase it or decrease it as needs be. Writing, 50,000 words. I still think it's doable. I don't want to change it. It feels sort of like maybe I should. But I think if I do terribly, that's weird. I don't want to say I do terribly, but if I look like I'm not going to reach it in like the first update or at least the second update, I think I will actually change it this year. But for now, 50,000 words, I'm keeping it. Sewing project's finished. Again, I'm not putting a number on that. And then novels. I'm going to change it from novels to books. One of my novels last year was technically an anthology of short stories, and I counted that because the only reason why I wrote it as novels previously was because that way reading like Kipper doesn't count, which is just, 10 pages or whatever it is. So I will change that to books, which also means that I can read non-fiction books and it will count and stuff as well. Since I read 43 books in the second half of last year, I think 100 books in a year would be doable. But I don't want to push myself into a goal that isn't easily achievable. So I was thinking of changing it to 80. That was before I realised it was only 43 that were in the second 6 months. So I'm a bit dubious on it. So I think I might actually put it as 70. I can always increase it or decrease it as needs be. I increased it every quarter this year. So I think 75. I'll do finish 75 books. And something like Kipper or Spot or whatever doesn't count. I won't count that, don't worry. I know that's still on the rule. And I think that's doable without being stressful. Hopefully. And also, obviously, the comic books won't count towards finishing 75 books, in case that wasn't obvious. So there we have it. It is a new year and I have new goals, and I'm going to be honest, I've already finished a book because I'm not recording this on the 1st of January. I know, shocker. Oh, I am excited to get started. I say get started, as I've said. I've already finished a book, which I did start last year, but still. And yes, I didn't go through every single book that I read this year, but I do plan on recording a tier list video of all the books I read last year. So if you are interested in that, then you can watch that and I'll go into more detail on each of them then. As for my streaming, I am planning on playing through as much of the Legend of Zelda games as possible. I am very close to finishing Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which is what sort of made me think I want to do that. So yes, I will also play other games in between, so I'm not constantly playing Zelda. I have a little break in between of playing different games. Happy New Year, everyone, even if you're watching this in July or whatever. Hope you're having a good New Year. Let me know if you've got any goals or resolutions or anything. And do you think I've overshot with some of these? Or undershot? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to. And maybe we'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye.